There comes a moment in every man's life when he finally sees the world for what it truly is. Not moral, not fair, not pure. Just a silent battlefield of hidden motives. You've been trained to give, to trust, to reveal yourself. But that's exactly how the world disarms you. Your honesty will be twisted, your kindness exploited, your heart used as a weapon against you. Machiavelli understood the truth. Purity is a trap. Honesty is a liability. Only the cunning survive, and they thrive, silently, invisibly, while the good are crushed beneath the weight of their naivety. Some men move differently. You can't read them, can't predict them, yet they see through you with brutal clarity. They speak little, and yet every word is law. They move slow, and yet the world bends to their timing. They never chase power, because power runs to them. If you don't learn to think like them, you will spend your life as their pawn, blind to the invisible chains tightening around you. This is your turning point. The moment you stop being played, stop being weak, stop being invisible. From here, you begin to see the world as it truly is, a game of power, strategy, and timing. Every choice you make from now on can forge you into someone untouchable, someone who moves unseen, but whose presence is felt everywhere. This is the beginning. The moment where most men continue blindly, and the few who survive begin to see. The world you know, polite, fair, predictable, does not exist. Beneath every conversation, behind every gesture, lies intention. Some are hidden in plain sight, some wrapped in subtle deception, and some so well masked you wouldn't recognize them, even if they were staring at you. This is the battlefield you're entering, and if you don't learn to read people, you will never survive it. Most men walk through life trusting appearances. A smile is kindness, a compliment is honesty, a friend is loyal. They fail to notice the flicker in the eye, the tension in a hand, the hesitation before a word. And that failure costs them everything. Their money, their influence, their dignity, their very position in the world. The cunning see it. They notice what others overlook, and they strike before anyone realizes a battle ever existed. Reading people is not passive observation. It is a skill, a weapon, a survival mechanism. It begins with the understanding that nothing is as it seems. Every interaction is a test, every glance a potential warning. The untouchable man knows that words are cheap. Actions reveal truth. The slight delay before a response, the micro-expression hidden behind a forced smile, the way someone shifts their weight when a topic arises, all of it is data. And data, when understood, is power. Imagine sitting across from a colleague, a friend, a stranger, anyone. They speak with confidence, claiming loyalty, sharing plans, projecting strength. But you watch. You notice their gaze flicker away when a sensitive subject is mentioned. You hear the subtle tremor in their voice when they assert certainty. You sense the hesitation in their movements when confronted with opportunity or threat. To the untrained eye, these are minor quirks. To the trained eye, they are revelations. They tell you exactly who is honest, who is weak, who is dangerous, and who is a pawn waiting to be exploited. The untouchable does not confront every lie. He does not react to every provocation. He observes, catalogs, and waits. Patience is as much a tool as observation itself. By watching, by listening, by analyzing, he understands the terrain before taking any step. Every move others make becomes predictable. Every plan becomes transparent, and every weakness becomes exploitable. The world begins to unfold not as chaos, but as a map, and he knows exactly where he stands. But mastery of this skill requires more than just noticing behavior. It demands understanding the psychology behind it. Why does someone hesitate? What drives their ambition? Where do their fears lie? People are predictable, not because they are simple, but because their desires, their insecurities, and their motives follow patterns. Once you recognize these patterns, you can anticipate actions before they occur. You can see betrayal before it strikes, manipulation before it binds you, opportunity before it is even obvious to the world. Reading people is also about understanding yourself. Every reaction you provoke, every emotion you display, every word you speak sends signals to those around you. The untouchable man controls his presence, his expressions, and his reactions. He ensures that others reveal more than he ever does. He becomes the mirror in which others unwittingly show their true selves, all while believing they are observing him. This is not deception for its own sake. It is strategic, surgical, essential. And here lies the first truth of power. Most people cannot read themselves, let alone others. They operate blind, manipulated by impulses, lies, and social conventions. They give away their intentions without realizing it, trusting too easily, revealing too much. But you are beginning the path to untouchable mastery. You are learning to read, to perceive, to understand. You are beginning to see the invisible threads that bind human behavior. And with that knowledge, you will never be the same. This is the beginning of your transformation. From this point forward, you will notice what others miss. You will understand motives hidden behind words, recognize weakness behind bravado, and anticipate moves before they are made. This is not a skill for the timid, nor a lesson for the faint-hearted. This is the foundation of survival, influence, and dominance. Because the world does not reward honesty, kindness, or effort. The world bends only to those who understand it, to those who can read the battlefield, predict its players, and act with precision. And the first step, the very first step, is learning the art of reading people. Every flicker of emotion, every micro-expression, every subtle cue is a secret. Every secret you uncover is power. And power, once recognized, is never given. It is taken. This is your beginning. And from this moment, the world will never look the same. The moment you learn to see is only the beginning. Observation alone does not grant power. True mastery lies in what you do with the knowledge you gather. The world bends to those who move unseen, who manipulate circumstances without ever appearing to interfere, and who extract advantage while others remain blind. Every interaction is a chessboard. Every conversation, a series of moves and counter-moves. By understanding the motives and weaknesses of those around you, you can predict their actions before they even think of them. A hesitation becomes a signal. A slip of the tongue becomes leverage. A misplaced confidence becomes a tool. You do not confront or dominate through brute force. You dominate through timing, precision, and subtlety. The first rule of invisible influence is to never reveal your intentions. The world rewards those who appear harmless, who move quietly, whose hands are clean while the currents shift beneath them. When you are predictable, people anticipate you, resist you, or use you. When you are unreadable, you become untouchable. You can steer outcomes without anyone realizing your hand guided them. The second rule is to use weaknesses strategically. Everyone has them. Fear, desire, pride, impatience. The untouchable notices these fissures immediately. He plants ideas, nudges decisions, or creates conditions where others act exactly as he needs them to act, all while believing it was their own choice. This is not cruelty for its own sake. It is survival. It is the only way to move in a world designed to consume the naive. Timing is the weapon that makes observation lethal. Acting too soon reveals your strategy. Acting too late wastes opportunity. The master observes, waits, and moves in silence. He acts when conditions are perfect, when others are blind, distracted, or weak. The world, unaware of the invisible currents, believes the outcome is chance. They never see the hand that orchestrates it. Another crucial skill is controlling your presence without dominating it. The untouchable never imposes force where it is unnecessary. Power is not in shouting or showing. Power is in being essential, in being the silent gravity around which others move. Let others believe they lead while you steer them. Let them feel in control while you shape every choice. Invisible power ensures you are always ahead, unchallenged, and unseen. Influence without discernment is dangerous. The untouchable knows when to act and when to step back, when to push and when to observe. Every action leaves traces. Every misstep can be exploited. Most people cannot read themselves, let alone others. They operate blind, manipulated by impulses, lies, and social conventions. They give away their intentions without realizing it. You, however, are beginning to see the invisible threads, and with that knowledge, you will never be the same. Power, in this form, is not about fear. It is about inevitability. Those who move like shadows are not noticed until it is too late. Your presence is felt not in dominance, but in influence. A decision shifts, a plan falters, a competitor hesitates, and all of it occurs without a single overt move. This skill is not flashy. It does not announce itself. But it is the kind of power that leaves others scrambling, always a step behind, never understanding why they lost or why you always seem ahead. By turning observation into action, by reading hidden motives and subtly shaping outcomes, you do not merely survive, you dominate. You move as if the world bends to your will, even when no one knows why. Every flicker of emotion, every micro-expression, every subtle cue is a secret. Every secret you uncover is power. And power, once recognized, is never given. It is taken. The world does not reward honesty or kindness. It bends to those who understand it, who read it, and who act with precision. The untouchable recognizes that the greatest weapon is patience. The world moves recklessly, driven by pride, fear, and desire. By observing quietly, calculating, and letting others make the first mistakes, you position yourself above the chaos. Every interaction, every negotiation, every seemingly trivial encounter becomes an opportunity to consolidate influence without drawing attention. Every action you take now, every observation you make, every subtle influence you exert, builds the foundation of control. It is not enough to see. You must act strategically, invisibly, and with ruthless precision. The moment you begin to move with awareness, patience, and subtlety, the invisible becomes tangible. You become the unseen force that shapes events, the silent presence that bends outcomes, and the predator who moves among the herd unnoticed, yet always in control. Words are everywhere. Everyone talks, argues, boasts, and explains. The world is full of noise, distractions, and empty promises. But the truly dangerous understand something others never learn. Silence is power. Speak less, reveal less. Let the world underestimate you. That underestimation becomes your advantage, your shield, and your weapon. Silence begins with control. Every word you speak carries weight, sometimes more than you realize. Most men speak without thinking, exposing vulnerabilities, intentions, and hidden fears. Each word becomes a lever others can use against them. The one who talks constantly is predictable, manipulable, and ultimately powerless. The silent man, by contrast, remains unreadable, mysterious, and dangerous. Every pause, Every hesitation, every thoughtful gesture becomes a signal of hidden strength. Silence shapes perception. Human nature craves patterns, explanations, and certainty. When you speak sparingly, people fill the gaps with assumptions, often overestimating your intelligence, strategy, or influence. They fear what they cannot predict. They defer to what they cannot control. In their imagination, you are larger, smarter, and more formidable than reality. That is the subtle power of silence. It forces others to react to what they believe about you, not what you actually do. But silence is not merely a psychological trick. It is a tool of control and observation. Let others speak, reveal themselves, make mistakes, and show their weaknesses. While they talk, you listen. Every gesture, glance, and pause becomes data. Every hesitation or slip is an opening. The more you observe without revealing yourself, the more power you accumulate. Knowledge unspoken is more dangerous than knowledge declared, because it allows you to act while others remain blind. Silence also builds respect and fear. Those who speak constantly are forgotten. They tire, they irritate, they dilute their presence. The one who speaks rarely, however, is remembered. Every word carries significance. Every carefully chosen phrase leaves an impact. People lean in when you finally speak, measure the calm that surrounds you, and realize that beneath your silence lies discipline, strategy, and control. Fear and respect are earned through restraint. Silence is protection. The less you reveal, the less others can exploit. Vulnerabilities remain hidden, intentions remain obscured. Every unspoken word becomes a barrier, a fortification no one can penetrate. In a world where words betray, silence ensures survival. In a world where perception governs power, silence becomes dominance. But mastery requires discipline. Silence is not simply staying quiet. It is knowing when to speak, what to reveal, and what to withhold. Speak too much, and you lose control. Speak at the wrong moment, and you reveal weakness. Speak too little, and you risk being overlooked. The dangerously silent master this balance, revealing just enough to guide, mislead, or unsettle, but never enough to be fully understood. The predator moves quietly, strikes invisibly, and dominates unseen. Silence makes you the same. Every pause is leverage. Every absence is a signal. Every unspoken word becomes a trap. People underestimate you, misjudge you, and make mistakes, all because they cannot read the calm, controlled force beneath your exterior. Silence also magnifies timing. Speak too soon, and you lose effect. Speak too late, and opportunity passes. The one who masters silence moves with precision, striking only when the moment is perfect. A single, well-timed word can redirect conversations, influence decisions, and control outcomes without confrontation. Every action, every subtle intervention carries maximum effect because it is wrapped in the power of restraint. Ultimately, the power of silence is control over perception, influence, and consequence. The world reacts not to what you say, but to what it believes about you. By speaking less, you bend assumptions, guide decisions, and command presence without effort. Those who cannot hold their tongue are prey. Those who master it are predators. In silence, you do not merely survive. You dominate. You shape. You influence. You wait, unseen, unheard, yet inevitable. The world moves around you, reacts to you, bends to your presence, all because your power is quiet, deliberate, and untouchable. Every unspoken word, every calculated pause, every withheld reaction becomes a weapon. The world does not know it, but it obeys. The world moves fast, but most people stumble blindly through it, reacting, guessing, hoping. They wait for events to unfold, for chaos to reveal itself, and for others to act first. The dangerously cunning move differently. They anticipate. They see the game before it begins. They understand that power lies not in reaction, but in foresight. To anticipate is to read the invisible currents that guide human behavior. Every hesitation, every glance, every subtle change in tone carries meaning. Most people dismiss these signs as trivial or coincidental, but the master sees patterns. He notices ambition trembling behind a smile, fear lurking behind a confident posture, and desire lurking behind a casual word. By understanding what drives others, he predicts choices before they are even made. Anticipation also requires calculating multiple futures simultaneously. Every interaction, every decision, every circumstance can branch into countless outcomes. The dangerously cunning map these possibilities in their mind, preparing responses for every eventuality. While others react to consequences, he engineers situations so that outcomes favor him regardless of what others do. Chaos is no threat. It is an opportunity. Every slip by a rival, every misstep by an ally becomes leverage because he has already seen it coming. Timing is critical. The master of anticipation knows that the moment to act is rarely now. Act too soon, and the opportunity is wasted. Act too late, and the moment is lost. By watching, measuring, and waiting for the precise moment, he ensures that his actions carry maximum effect and minimum risk. Every decision feels inevitable to those around him, because the stage has already been set by foresight and calculation. But anticipation is more than observation and patience. It is the power to shape events before they occur. The master subtly nudges situations, plants ideas, and provokes reactions that seem natural to others, but are guided by his design. A whispered suggestion here, a withheld word there, a carefully timed action, all bend outcomes toward his advantage. Those around him move as if of their own volition, unaware that the currents guiding them were laid long before they stepped onto the field. The dangerously cunning also anticipate human error. Everyone is predictable when studied closely. Pride overreaches, fear hesitates, desire blinds. By understanding these patterns, he positions himself where others falter, turning their mistakes into his leverage. The world reacts, unaware that he orchestrated the stage. What seems like luck or coincidence is, in fact, the product of silent calculation and foresight. Anticipation cultivates invisibility. When others are caught off guard, reacting impulsively, the master moves with clarity. He is never rushed, never panicked, never forced into compromise. Others may act loudly, visibly, and recklessly, but he remains unseen, untouchable, and always a step ahead. Every victory is quiet, deliberate, and inevitable, because it was foreseen and engineered before anyone else realized a game was in motion. Ultimately, the art of anticipation transforms cunning into mastery. Observation becomes prediction. Knowledge becomes leverage. Patience becomes control. The world no longer surprises you. It unfolds as you have already foreseen. You are not merely responding to events. You are directing them, invisible, untouchable, and inevitable. To master anticipation is to see the moves before they happen, to strike before opportunity becomes obvious, and to manipulate outcomes without confrontation. It is to move through chaos like a shadow, invisible and untouchable, while the unprepared stumble blindly. This is the path from cunning to control. The world bends not because it must, but because you anticipated it, engineered it, and allowed it to believe it was its own choice. In this mastery, survival becomes trivial. Dominance becomes inevitable. Those who cannot foresee stumble, falter, and serve the one who can see all steps before the dance even begins. The dangerously cunning are never caught unaware, because they are always the first, the last, and the unseen force guiding the world toward their will. Power is not given. It is not seized in a single moment of force. True dominance is built, like a structure that supports itself invisibly, bending the world toward your will while others remain unaware. The dangerously cunning understand this. Influence is architecture, not chaos. Every relationship, every situation, every opportunity is a brick, and the way you place them determines the strength of your foundation. The first step is mapping your environment. Observe every interaction, every alliance, and every competition. Who holds sway? Who fears whom? Who is predictable, and who reacts impulsively? The master of influence sees not just people, but the currents between them. He understands that every action, every decision, every word carries ripple effects. Position yourself where those currents converge, where your presence shapes outcomes without force. Influence grows silently, invisibly, yet its impact is undeniable. Next comes strategic alignment. Surround yourself with allies whose actions can serve your goals, competitors whose mistakes can be anticipated, and observers whose assumptions can be molded. Let people believe they are acting freely, while the structures you create guide them toward the outcomes you desire. Every choice you orchestrate is subtle, yet it amplifies your power. The world bends not because you demand it, but because you have engineered conditions for it to bend. Influence also relies on control of perception. People rarely respond to reality. They respond to belief. Craft an aura of competence, inevitability, and unassailable calm. Let others see what you want them to see, while hiding the depth of your strategy. Scarcity, mystery, and calculated revelation make your presence magnetic. People will gravitate toward you, compete for your favor, and defer to your decisions, all without realizing they are following the path you laid. Another pillar is leveraging human nature. Ego, pride, desire, and fear are predictable tools if understood correctly. A subtle suggestion here, a carefully timed challenge there, a deliberate reward at just the right moment. These are invisible levers that guide actions and decisions. You do not coerce. You engineer reactions, bending outcomes while maintaining the appearance of neutrality. Those around you act, while you remain untouchable, orchestrating events from the shadows. Timing and patience are essential. Influence is rarely immediate. It is cultivated over months, years, or even decades. A single premature move can reveal your hand. A single misjudged action can collapse the structure you've spent years building. The master waits, observes, and acts when conditions are perfect, when the moment guarantees maximum effect with minimum exposure. Every intervention is deliberate, invisible, and inevitable. Finally, the master of influence creates systems that sustain themselves. You are no longer reacting to events. You have designed circumstances that ensure continued advantage. Relationships, alliances, and structures now serve your rise automatically. Others move within the framework you built, unaware of the architecture controlling their choices. You are untouchable because you are everywhere without being seen, guiding outcomes without confrontation. The architecture of influence is the ultimate form of power. It is invisible, methodical, and unstoppable. The world does not bend to those who react, but to those who design. Those who understand this never merely survive. They dominate. They shape the currents of life itself, leaving everyone else to follow the paths they have quietly constructed. This is your chance to become that architect, to build influence, bend reality, and leave your mark on the world. And if you want more lessons like this, make sure to like the video, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Your journey to mastery starts now, and those who follow the rules you set will never see you coming.